But I have to do what I have to do with the gifts that God has given me. You're going to find in life that people are going to say, this is what I want you to do because I've done it this way. And since I've done it this way, it must be the right way. So you have to follow my lead. But the problem is that we're all different. And there are some introverts in here and some extroverts in here. And there are some people that have different gifts and different abilities. You have to find how God created you to be. Not anybody else. You have to be you. Like I'm a humorous person by nature. I use humor in social media. I use humor in the pulpit. And some people have a cow when there's humor in the pulpit. It's like, even though the gifts of the Spirit, one of them is joy. So to tell somebody, you can have the fruits of the Spirit, except when you're in the pulpit, it's kind of anti-biblical to me, right? But they're like, yeah, no, you have to be serious like that preacher. I can't be, my dad's a preacher. His name is Pascual. Say that with me. Pascual. They used to say, when we finished the service, I was just standing with him at the door. He said, Pastor Pascual, that was a great sermon. And he looked at me, Pascualito. I like my dad. I hate his name. I don't like his name. I'm Roger. I wasn't called to be the second Pascual. I was called to be the first Roger. You have to fight in your armor. You have to fight with the ones that God gave you to do. God put something in your heart. He's not called you to be an imitation of somebody else. Be who you were called to be. You're going to be so much comfortable in your skin. We're always trying to run after the new thing, and who's doing that, and that church is doing it over there, and we're going to do that the same thing. God's called you, this church, to be your own church. You don't have to imitate anybody else. You don't have to imitate any other church. You have to be your own church and find out what resources and what ministries God created you to have and follow those. And look Saul's in the eye and say, thank you for your advice, but I must do it the way God called me to do it. It's amazing. I remember when I first got married, they told me all these things about a good husband does this and a good husband does that. And there was like the polar opposites. People telling me what that day I needed to do. This one pastor called me into his office and said, listen, I must tell you, when you get married, do not have sex on Friday night. Because the kids in Italy, when they're 11 and they sing, they do some operations, so when you have sex on Friday night, your voice crackles on Saturday morning. Somebody said to me, as serious, do not do that. I'm sitting at him, I just got married, I'm like, what? Adam and Eve were created on Friday. And God said, go and multiply. I only know one way that happens. I had a dude he was so intent trying to prove that was a sin. He said, they waited till Sunday. Sure they did. You're going to have people in your life telling you all kinds of stuff. That if you see, the music God likes is the music that I like. Because you've been to heaven, right? So you know the music God likes. The music that God likes is the music that I like. And the food that God likes is the food that I like. I'm a vegetarian. I am a vegetarian. It makes me healthier, but it doesn't make me holier. There are no levels of holiness based on diet. There are no levels of holiness. Like over here, down here is like people that eat meats, right? Not all clean meats, because God doesn't want that, but the clean meats. They'll eat clean meats, and they're going to be like living in the ghetto in heaven, right? And above them are going to be like the vegetarians. They'll still eat like cheese and eggs, and they're going to be living like in apartments in heaven. And above them are going to be like the vegans. They're going to be like living in like single family homes in heavens. And above them is So like very, very, very rare are the raw people that only need, and nothing is cooked. The raw people that are going to be living like in the mansions. And I'm wondering, what's the next step? Is like the air eaters? I have two friends. Both of them are vegans. Two friends. I have two friends. Both of them are vegans. Both are really good friends. One is like a militant vegan, and the other one is like a regular, normal vegan, right? This militant vegan comes into my house, and we serve him food. And I'm vegetarian. We serve vegetarian food in my house. I believe that the original diet. I'm all down through it. The problem is not the message of health. The messengers. Sometimes. The message is perfect. It's the messengers. And he's like, I'm sitting at my table, and my friend is looking at my table. He's like, pasta, eliminate that. And you drinking juice, eliminate that. And eliminate that. And eliminate. My kids don't even know his name. My kids say, is Pastor Eliminate when I come to the house sometime? Pastor Eliminate. Eliminate. I went out to eat. And we went out to eat, and it was late at night, right? And we find just one restaurant was open. They had no vegetarian options. The only thing they had that was vegetarian was fried onion rings. That's the only thing that I could eat. So that's what I ordered. And they came to the table. He was sitting in front of us. And my wife was to my right. And he said, do you know how many calories? You ever met that dude? Yeah. Calories are in that onion ring? I'm like, no, but I think you're about to tell me. 236. So I had onion ring, now eating another one. You're going to eat another one? My wife said, never invite him. Never invite him again. Never invite him again. It's like, that's why vegans can't be spies, because they're always telling people. My other friend, who's a regular vegan, he comes to my house. He never says anything. He just says, because I had this idea that vegan food is nasty, right? It's like tasting cotton. It's just like some lettuce and some grass. And he's like, let me take you out to eat. We went out to eat to a vegan restaurant, and they had the most wonderful food. I'm like, this is really good. And then I tasted some other food. And then I tasted some other food. And I'm like, now I have my wife preparing it for me. And then when we go out to eat, we go to a place called the Loving Hut, which is a great vegan restaurant. It's fantastic. We've lost, my wife and I, 45 pounds because we went on a better diet. But it wasn't because somebody used Ellen White as a hammer. It's a mat, not a mallet. It's through, when I looked up, I saw my other friend, he's like, man, I lost some weight, I feel so good. So his testimony inspired me to change my diet. Not the hammering. In fact, the hammering might have the opposite effect of what you want to have. You're going to have people in life, 4 obstacles. You're gonna reach where you want to go in life, you're going to have 4 obstacles. What's the first one? People that limit you. Number 2, people that are all talk and no action. Number 3, people that judge you. And number 4, people that try to control you. So here's David. He goes and picks up 5 rocks. Why 5? 2 Corinthians chapter 6. 2 Chronicles chapter 6. 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles chapter 6 says that Goliath had 4 brothers. They were all giants. So when he's picking 5 rocks, he's not picking, so in case I miss the first rock, I'm going to hit him with the second rock. Goliath is surrounded by enemy and surrounded by his armor bearer. So he only has 1 chance. So picking 5 rocks is not a lack of faith, but a deep faith in God. That I'm not only going to beat up 1 giant, I have enough rocks for every giant. I might not have to use the rocks, but I have them just in case. This is for Goliath, and this is for his brother. This is for his little brother. When his sister comes, and he tells them, you come to me with sword, spear, and javelin. This is one of those faith injection texts, right? But I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know there is a God in Israel. Amen. He said, I'm going to win, and I'm not going to take the credit. Because I know I'm not qualified for this, but the God in heaven selected me for this purpose, and I'm going to walk through my purpose, and I'm going to do what I was called to do, even though there's haters around me, and people that judge me, and people want to control me, and people that are all talk and not doing anything. I'm the only one that's doing this. I, by myself, with God, I am a majority, and I can do this, and I'm going to walk through that door. And he did, and he killed the giant. And because he killed the giant, everybody joined in the victory. You don't ever underestimate what one person with the Holy Spirit can do. Amen. One person. One person. So I want to pray. Never underestimate what a person with nimble feet, superior technology, and the Spirit of the living God can do. Who can I pray for this morning? Who can I pray for this morning that needs specific prayer for giants? Any ones of these? I want to pray for you, and I'm going to have the Lesser Light Collective sing a song, and after that song, I'm going to pray for you. You think about what it is that you're trying to change, overcome, defeat. Nimble feet, superior technology, the Spirit of the living God. God is on your side. Can we welcome Lesser Light Collective this morning?
Loving and merciful and gracious will ultimately triumph.